Hello, and welcome to the Delusional Boyfriend Book Club, where if shoving a blood diamond down your lover's throat is wrong, I don't want to be right. I'm Courtney, and I'll be your host, and I'm joined today by my reoccurring anime guest host, Val from Girls Gaze Animes. Hi, Val.
What
Thank you so
up?
much for doing this podcast with me. We tried to record yesterday and we had technical difficulties, so it's our second day in a row hanging out, and I'm so happy to have you here. Today, we're talking about December's BL anime of the month, and I was so excited about this. So, we're talking about Alien Stage, and Alien Stage is a YouTube animated series. Val, have you watched Alien Stage before this?
I did watch Alien Stage prior to you informing me that it was the anime of the month for December.
It was like such a phenomenon when it was happening, and that's how it got on my radar. Was people were talking about these music videos and using the sounds on their TikToks, and I had no idea what it was referring to, but I kept seeing this same ship over and over again between Ivan and Till. So I
It's just so funny because I experienced the same phenomena. The difference is that I was getting a different ship
I
fed
was
to
gonna
me.
say, I was so pleasantly surprised because while this is our year of yaoi, I would say this is a predominantly Yuri centered
I
story.
would argue this is nearly exclusively a
It
Yuri
is so
story.
heavily Yuri, and I never saw one
Yeah.
Mizzy and Sua edit ever. And so now I'm going to like try to redirect my algorithm to show me the edits of these other ships. But oh my gosh, this was such a fun experience, like to finally know what people are talking about and who these characters are. So for all of you guys listening, Alien Stage is it's about an hour long when you watch it in its entirety, but it was released one music video at a time, and it's by the creator Vivinos, and it's in collaboration with the director Q Meg, and then I believe it originated from this comic. So I haven't gone back to the comic, but Val and I both watched like a full breakdown on this series, and that was really informative. So if you guys out there are listening and you want to get into more Alien Stage content, we definitely have like a plethora, huge, deep well to draw from. There's tons of people out there doing fan theories, as well as, like getting into extra content like the comics or putting together like their own edits. So definitely dive into the fandom as deep as you want to. Val?
I wanted to throw out a fact check really quick. So it actually started as the videos. The videos came first. The comic was an
I
ad
did not know that
afterwards.
because it always goes
Yeah.
comic first. That is so fun.
No, this is the comic was like added lore and backstory to the original
Which
music
is so helpful
videos.
because a ton of the lore that was explained through this other creator, I'll like add something on the end or in
Tag
our
them, yeah.
YouTube
Hmm.
description. So if you guys aren't following us on YouTube, go over there and subscribe to Val's podcast and YouTube channel, Girls Gaze Animes as well. But I will tag that creator as well because theirs was super informative, and I thought that bringing in
Very
the
thorough.
comics like really helped it helped like what give me some well-rounded like information to piece together the videos again. So then today I played the whole podcast through again just because I wanted to hear the songs, or not the podcast, the playlist through again because the songs are so good.
I didn't listen to it all the way through again for this, but on my way home, obviously, like I listened to the same thing that Courtney did. The person did this hour long synopsis of all of the playthroughs and the comics, and then also fan
Mm-hmm.
art. But I just listened to Blink On afterwards. I was like, I'm
I
gonna
was
play
gonna
my
ask
favorite.
you, so
I just listened to Blink On
what's
the
your
way
favorite?
home.
Blink On is your favorite? I love
Yeah.
Blink On. And then the other one, Black Sorrow, like I really, really like Black
Hmm.
Sorrow. But Blink On is so catchy. And the way that it ends in the show is so
Hmm.
traumatic that when I'm just like walking around my house going like, in a blink on, I'm like, that is not
I
cute. Why are
know.
like one tear rolling down my face as I
No.
smile and dance? So this, if you
I
guys
just
are looking for it, if
so
you
well
haven't watched
done.
it already, go to YouTube, and then there you can subscribe to the creator BB and then there's also playlists that put all of the music videos in order. It's about 50 minutes from start to finish. And we have I didn't count the songs, but we've got something like 8 songs, 10 songs total.
So I've got the list. I've got the watch order
Yeah.
list up.
Go through. Bring us through it.
And it says go
Mhm.
round one, then Alien Stage. So don't watch Alien Stage first, watch round 1 first. Then after Alien Stage, round 2, round 3. There's no round 4, so go to round 5, because round 4 is that one where it's like, oh, we know something happened, but it's not with the main characters. So that is confusing if you don't know what you're like getting into. Then Mizusa. Then top 3, all in, round 6, final, and I'm going to pronounce this wrong, Wiege.
I think it's pronounced like vague or Vega or something, but I don't,
okay.
That's just from watching other people's videos breaking this down. So you guys will have to piece that together, or you can find that playlist that puts it all in order. And that there's one that has the English subtitles all on there as well. So dig into that. But we start in this world, and slowly as you get through these music videos, you piece together the world. And by the end, you have like 40% of the information you need to understand the entire story. And so these, like the fan theories and that extra comic, it comes in to fill in these gaps in a way that gives you the entire narrative. So we've got our main characters, and basically, I guess our tropes here.
Character cheat sheet, because I'm so bad at
I'll
names.
take us through this, but let's go through some tropes. So this is going to be futuristic, asymmetrical love triangle or quadrangle.
Quadrangle.
That was so funny. And then let's see, we've got sci-fi, we've got hurt, no comfort, unreciprocated love, trauma.
Yep.
I'm like, they're all of the tropes are just like, if you feel seasick the entire time you're watching it. The songs are bops, but like you're queasy. It's really dark. The trigger warnings are violence, gore, flashing, self-harm, all of them. Child abuse,
all of them. I will say, I mean, it's pretty inclusive as far as like the characters go, though, because you think about like there's Yuri, I think one person is arguably bisexual.
Absolutely.
I don't know that. And then also one of the characters is an amputee. So I was like, honestly, like really, and then obviously there's aliens and there's like other species and stuff.
Yeah, and
like,
on top of the like
really
representation between all of their.
Oh, sorry, are we in the pre-spoilers?
Oh, no, we're fine. Hit us with whatever you want.
Oh yeah, and the clones.
So we have all of that representation, and then we've also got like all of their different dynamics as far as like the reciprocated love, the unreciprocated love, the like unconfessed love. There's all of these different dynamics going on. And as I was watching, I just kept having so many questions about if this person could really love that person. And by the end of this story, I just was left with more questions. And
this is so hard for me because I had my own interpretation after I watched it for the first time. And my best friend was huge into this prior to me jumping in. I mean, she's way ahead when it comes to like internet stuff like that than I am anyway. And I feel like I'm pretty topical. But so afterwards I was like, hey, I need to talk about this because I need to process what's actually happened versus what my interpretation of things happening is. Again, I'm on the spectrum. Like, you got to like tell me what's going on, because my very first interpretation was like, I don't know. And we'll go through that later. But then she's like, yeah, you can interpret it a bunch of different ways. That's part of why the fandom is so cool. And then I even got more out of listening to that other person's analysis of things, because like I had originally thought that like that there were 0 reciprocated relationships in this, in the way that like I thought like Sua was more like Stockholmed into liking Mitzi. But I feel like by the end I was like, no, wait, actually she did. But then I'm like, no, maybe she didn't. And so it was kind of this thing, because nothing says doomed Yuri like pink hair character and black hair character.
It's so classic. It's tragic. And I think this is like an absolute masterpiece of a project, because there's so much room for interpretation.
Yes.
And because it's so original. These are all there's original songs. I think there's a couple covers in here, but the way that this brought so many artists together, and then brought the huge fandom together, and everyone is out looking for this like treasure hunt of Easter eggs, piecing together what could be and who's alive and what could be next, and if there's going to be more, and what it all meant. That analysis of art is what we're all supposed to do when we walk into the museum, is start asking questions. And the fact that you can turn this on and for 50 minutes be completely enamored, full of questions, have no answers, and left with every emotion you you were supposed to feel, it seems like a complete success of a story. So I'm really, really happy to be on the inside of this now. And for everyone who hasn't gotten into the Alien Stage like fandom and this craze, you absolutely have to. It's got what, 20 million views. Like, this is not something to miss out on. It's
Yeah.
probably even higher than that. This is like,
I was
I'm sure
like,
it's higher than that, but this is, it's funny when something is so well known to a huge group of people and still kind of underground. And I feel like in our niche, people know about Alien Stage, but my husband has never heard of it. And he was
33
33 million.
million.
There we go. And Wolfgang was,
And that's just like one, that's just final plays. Then, like, yeah, so all in all, I mean, like, Alien Stage through Vivino's, like, obviously people are rewatching over and over again, but like, final has 34.2 million views. Alien Stage, just like that one episode, is 11 million. Round one is 22.8. Like, it goes
crazy.
hard.
It's a phenomenon. So you have to get in on it. Like, you should have a level of FOMO about this series. And I did have a level of FOMO about this series, but I knew that once I got into it, it was going to take over my feed. So I needed to dedicate some time to it. But Wolfgang was walking around singing Ruler of My Love, or Ruler of My Heart. Is that what it is? Or Ruler of My Love? And it was like stuck in his ear all night. And I just think it's wild that he has never seen an edit come across his page. He has no idea what this is. And he's on YouTube 12 hours a day. So it's crazy to me that we can live in these bubbles and they don't ever cross pollinate. But I really hope that there's some people out there listening who got a chance to watch this. And if you're listening and you have not watched it, I beg you to just put it on. It's 50 minutes of music. You can listen to it in the car and then watch it when you get home, but the music will get stuck in your ear. It's really well produced songs. So please dive in. So in our first, I'm not even going to take us through like episode by episode. I want to take us through our couples. So in our first couples, we meet on stage is going to be Sua and Mizzy. And they start performing. And that's when we realize in this world that we are going to be on a stage, on the Alien Stage, which is...
I want to talk about how they just like throw you into this, right? Like, I went in blind. I was like, I don't know what the fuck this is about. I'm just going to watch it. And then I'm watching it. I'm like, your brain is working on overtime to process not only what is actively happening, but also understand the world and the storyline and everything else. And the fact that they're able to convey this, like, the world building that happens in like 10 music videos is absolutely insane to me. Like, when we talk about how well it's produced, it goes beyond just the like production value of the audio quality and the performers. Like, it's truly how the story is told.
It's unfolding.
That is phenomenal.
It's unfolding in this way where, like you said, your brain is just barely able to keep up, and you know you might be missing something, but you're absorbing it all as it's coming through to you, and you're reading the lyrics. So our setup here is we are in some kind of hellish Guitar Hero. It's like a Hunger Games meets The Voice, and our characters have all grown up with each other and have been raised to perform in this season and this year's Alien Stage battle. So we've got our contestants going up against each other one at a time in a tournament in a bracket style. So our first...
I wouldn't even say these characters are raised. I would say they're more like...
They're pets. Yes.
Like, it's beyond just like, oh, like they were raised and trained for this. It's like they were specifically like bred and then sold as pets to then be these like performers where the only thing they live and exist to do is have like one major performance, and that's it. Like,
that's their whole life. And it truly did remind me of the Hunger Games, because we've got the capital. So basically, life as humans know it is over. Earth is gone, and humans have gone into the galaxy. And while they thought that beyond Earth would be God and heaven, what they found was the awful truth, which is this dismal, nihilistic, evil, rotted universe and galaxy beyond. So there is no more God, there's no more hope, and these humans are now becoming pets of the aliens. And this unfolds through the music videos and through these comics. So it's hard to understand exactly what the timeline is, but you see that these children have been, like you said, not exactly bred, but they have been raised and like groomed to be performers.
Yeah, bred isn't even the right word because, I mean, we find out in, I don't even remember what episode, right? But that they're just all clones.
So I had to look into this at the end. So that is for the, that my understanding at the end. Okay, we'll get to it. I want to come back to the clone thing at the end. So basically the human race is over. The aliens have taken the humans as pets, and these pets are being used as entertainment on this stage. They go up one by one to battle against each other, and our first couple is Mizzy and Sua. Mizzy has long pink hair and Sua has short black hair, and it's doomed from the beginning, and you can tell through their lyrics.
Tale as old as time.
Tale as old as time. And you have to pay attention to the lyrics as you're watching. Like, it's good that it has the English subtitles on it, because you can see with this Mizzy and Sua, it's not completely clear. Like you said, it's not completely clear if this is a romantic relationship, if it's reciprocated. But through these lyrics, we start to understand that Mizzy at least has made Sua a kind of god in her mind and has made her whole purpose of living Sua. And Sua has made Mizzy hers. And so they are each other's one and only, their only hopes, and now they're battling it out.
I think the way that I would describe it is Sua is Mitzi's reason for living, and Mitzi is Sua's reason to
absolutely
die.
Yes. And
where it's like they would both like do anything for the other character, but like in different ways.
So at the end of Sua and Mizzy's song, Sua's blood splatters Mizzy, and then we see Mizzy get put in a collar, and her round is declared winner to Mizzy, and Sua is dead. There's no coming back from this, and we realize that every single round will be fought to the death. So after this, we get our first showing of Ivan, and Ivan is black hair, black hat character, outcast character, but very charismatic and a favorite on Alien stage. And as soon as he came on, I was like, oh no, am I going to simp for Ivan? Because he just is like pretty hot boy. If he was in a manhwa, he would be a rich kid with like his own apartment while everyone else lives in the dorms. And that's kind of his lore in this too. He is owned by a super rich alien, where as opposed to Till, who is raised poor by whatever alien owns him. So we've got different socioeconomic standards here. And when we meet Ivan at first, we see him beautiful, we see him rocking out, and he wins his round and he moves on. And then we get Till's round. And in Till's round, he goes up against a guy they call Acorn, and he doesn't even get a single line out before the end of the song, and Till kills it, absolutely shreds, rocks out. He's clearly talented, like also just like Ivan, he was built to be a performer, and he's like shining on stage. And so once those kind of short-lived interactions, those short-lived songs play out, and both of them have really important lyrics that show how those characters feel about the world around them and about the characters around them. But after those two win their rounds, then we start getting all of the main characters matching up against each other. So, of course, we already have Mizzy, who has pink hair. She's very charismatic. She's a favorite. We have Sua, who is now dead. She had short, dark hair, and her and Mizzy were absolutely like one true pairing. We've got so Ivan is in love with Till, and this is all pieced together through all the episodes. So I can't be like this. You see this in episode 2 because you've got to watch it all. But Ivan is obsessed with Till in a very like stalkery, unrequited way. And I think that Till does love him back. It's just that he doesn't leave him a lot of room to reciprocate that love because he's so selfish.
I think Till couldn't and wouldn't accept Ivan because he was too obsessed with Mitzi.
Yeah. And like any acceptance of Ivan would be some kind of giving up on his hope that something with Mizzy would work out. And it makes me so mad because I'm like, Ivan, she had her love. You were being a creepy, unwanted cuck in this situation between Mizzy and Sua. Just leave Mizzy alone and go be with Ivan. Please, Till. So we've got Ivan, Till, Sua, Mizzy, and then after those characters are introduced and we have Mizzy grieving Sua's loss, we meet Luca and he comes on stage. We might have met him once before this with a like kind of NPC character, but this is the first time that his first concert with the main character is with Mizzy.
Right.
And he goes up there very confident, very cocky. She's traumatized. She is obviously grieving and going through it. And he starts taunting her. And he starts doing everything he can to resemble the person that she loves most, who just passed away in front of her, who was just murdered in front of her. And he does it ruthlessly and relentlessly. And he's so beautiful. He's got gorgeous blonde hair, golden eyes. And he learned from these flashbacks that they were all groomed. I would say groomed, not raised, because these children were groomed to serve a certain purpose for people's entertainment. So they were all groomed in this garden called the Enact Garden, and it is it's very interesting because they all know each other, and in this moment when Luca is taunting her,
it's giving Promised Neverland.
Oh, yes. And in this moment, Luca is taunting her and kind of also saying, like, your love for Sua, like this thing you held dear and intimate and private to yourself, I know about it and I'm laughing about it. And like it's not your private little secret. It's I laugh at you, and I laugh at the fact that you're stupid enough to still love in this world and watch me beat you. And so as he taunts her, this is when I got back on the Mizzy train, because initially, like I said, she's a little bit abrasive. I didn't totally like fall in love with her, but the second she starts beating the shit out of Luca, I was a huge fan. And she throttles him, and to the point where he like almost dies. The whole show has to get shut down. They're trying to pull her off of him, and in this moment the rebellion surfaces and uses this distraction to rescue Mizzy and get her out of the show, which is a huge
crux. Because the fact that she's beating the shit out of him, violence is forbade, and it like immediately gets you pulled. And so they jumped in because they're like, oh, if we don't jump in, she's gonna get.
And
so that's why
you're not allowed to like sing over the other character or hurt them or like you're not allowed to cheat like that. So at this moment she is like technically cheating. And there's another moment where Till did the same thing, where he's smashing that guitar and not letting the other kids sing, and I think he was trying to get himself killed. I think he was trying to disrupt the system because we see him self-harm like several times throughout the series. And I think
plus that was when he was singing his love song basically to Mitzi, and like basically knew that it was over, and so he's like, nothing really to live for, because she was never going to leave Sua before, but now that she's lost Sua, like it's not, you know what I mean? Plus they're going to die anyway, so he's like, oh, I'd just rather get out.
Against an angel or a ghost is even harder than competing against a person. So given.
Not that like both of them would have ever survived through this anyway, though, right? Like
this is the whole, they know their whole lives they would watch this final outcome where they all kill each other, where they all fight to the death. And it's so fucking dark. It is so late stage capitalist, post-apocalyptic.
I'm so surprised, like watching this, I was so surprised, like, that they're able to experience happiness at all.
And that, I think, is what this show, that's the moral question it poses, or that's the message at the heart of it, is that humans,
because they know what they're training for the whole time.
And I think that the question is, do humans love as a matter of survival, or do humans love because they have no choice, and we love because that's what we do. Like that's part of our creation. That's part of who we are. And Mizzy at the end says we only love in order to exploit each other. And then she grabs Till, whose heart is still beating, and she helps him anyways. She's not exploiting him. And she shows that even her own nihilistic beliefs aren't true. She shows that even her own self, who wants to believe nothing matters anymore, even she stands up at the end and keeps living. And humans almost cannot. We have this instinct to keep living and to survive and to love each other and to procreate and to make bonds and trust and build communities. And we do that even in the worst of circumstances. And that is beautiful. And it is also so hard to watch people who maybe should have no hope and maybe would be better off giving up, just keep fighting tooth and nail, like bloody fingers scraping at the walls. They're still going to fight another day. And against people that they love and in the worst circumstances. And I think this story, this series will truly never leave me because it made me feel things, made me think about things. No matter how hard you have it, like, would you still wake up if there was one person you could pour love into, even if you knew at the end of the day,
Knowing that one day you could
even
never
if
be
you had to kill
together.
that person one day, even if they had to kill you? And
I guess also when I watched it the first time, I thought they were youths, but they're like in their early
they're
20s.
definitely like they're adults, and they're of course they never had a childhood, so it doesn't. I guess it never. They were always kind of what they are, but I really loved the detail that that other creator pointed out that Sua, when she threw the match, because when I first watched that first episode, I thought it was a total tie. I couldn't
Mhm.
believe that one of them did better than the other, but Sua gets shot anyways. And then it does the flashback, and you
Mhm.
see Sua highlighting the lines and giving more lines to Mizzy. And Mizzy is like slowly seeing Sua planning this as like a means of her own suicide. She's like planning her own loss on the show so that Mizzy can survive. And yeah, that's the thing. How do you wake up every day knowing that you're going to do that for somebody and leave them all alone? That you'll be the one who gets to leave this hellhole and you're going to leave them as a survivor. And how could you do the opposite? You couldn't. They're
With the
impossible.
survivor's guilt, knowing that they only survived because you
Yes,
died.
it's an impossible situation. It's an impossible choice. It's devastating. So we have Luca using all of that, and you think he's heartless when you first meet him. You think he must not love anybody, and he must be in this to win and for himself, and he must have no feelings because he's using these extremely intimate relationships against these people. But when we see Mizzy, who has been abducted by the resistance, living on the outside, we meet another character whose name is Hayana. And Hayana is an amputee who was raised in the Anact Garden with the rest of these people. And we don't see her exact rescue out of the system. So we don't know how she got out, but she got out. And the rest of this rebellion on the outside of Alien Stage is working to save the humans who are being used as entertainment in Alien Stage. And it looks like they're trying to shut down that show in particular, that system. So Mizzy joins this rebellion, and her and Hayana's relationship starts to blossom. And then I started to root for them, and I was like, just just be in love. Just be in love.
No, they're too
So different. They're completely different.
yeah.
But the other thing was that Hayana is this like long dark haired character who drinks and shoots guns and smokes and parties. I loved this character. Their song was so fun. Their song was just basically like YOLO, live life, have fun. If this is all hell anyways, like you might as well rip it up. And I thought it was so fun. Did you
Yeah.
like this character?
Yeah, I again, it's like so hard because like you see these characters for like a whole
Yeah,
minute,
they're
and
gone.
then
So
yeah.
basically, we figure out that this character and some friends that some other characters from their childhood have gotten out to the outside, and they're planning this big rescue, this big shutdown of the system. And Mizzy joins, but Mizzy has some questions about like if that's enough. Are we just shutting down Alien Stage, the show? Are we really just going to let this treatment of these humans? They're being kept as pets and stored in like storage containers, and their lives are destroyed. Shutting down the show isn't going to fix anything, and pulling out one character at a time during the season isn't going to make the difference that we need it to make. And so Hayana, while she is altruistic and she is working towards this goal, Mizzy doesn't quite understand how she's supposed to just get pulled out of this system and not go back for these people in a more drastic way.
Right.
So
Again, she's got the worst survivor's guilt
ever,
ever.
ever. And so also like Sua died for her to like maybe make it in this system, and she has other friends back there. There really is no leaving them. So they end up as the rebellion
Mm-hmm.
going to the stage. And this seems for a few reasons like all the stars line up. They're there to shut it down. They're also there to maybe save some other characters. And Mizzy goes to see Till. And before this, sorry, I jumped over Ivan and Till's, and I think I did that because it's so hurtful, but they have to go up against each other, and Ivan is winning, and Till is starting to give up. And this is, which one, what is
Mm-hmm.
this song? I forget the song between the name,
I don't know. It's round 6.
but this song
I
was
don't remember.
good. It is good. And there's a moment where Till tries to give up, and Ivan basically walks across the stage himself and starts kissing, like forcefully kissing Till, and then strangling him and kissing him and strangling him at the same time, all while he's not singing. And you can see that Ivan has made the choice that he will, in his last moments, stop singing, stop competing, and kiss Till as a way of confessing his love and sacrificing himself for the only person that he has ever.
Does he kiss him back?
He does not. Do you feel like he kissed him back even for a minute?
I don't. Not even.
He actually
a minute,
looks furious
no.
and he looks confused.
Yeah, he looks mad and confused. I don't know if he's mad and confused because he's like, why is he like kissing me? Or mad and confused because he's like, why is he sacrificing himself?
Why is he
for
saving me when I want to die? And what do I have
Yeah.
left after this?
Yeah.
So it is
Right.
it's a really hard moment because yet again, Ivan.
We're on black hair character self-sacrifice for love number two. Get out of here.
And yet again, this person's feelings and thoughts about it and what they're going to have to live with afterwards is just completely not considered. And Ivan truly, until his dying breath, is so self-centered, and he steals Till's moment to escape this universe, and Ivan gets shot by the aliens and dies, and we see Till moving on to go up against Luca because Mizzy.
Do you think at this point that the other characters, do the other characters watch the rounds as they're going?
Yes,
I can't
because
remember.
the moment that, which one is it? It's the moment when Mizzy is getting pulled out. You flash to Till, and he's inside like a glass box, and he's pressing his face up, watching her, because I think he's worried that Mizzy's going to get killed for beating up Luca. And so you see them all in this box reacting to the fact that Mizzy is like getting dragged off the stage, and then all the.
But they don't get to see her escape because they cut the feed.
So I think they see her getting pulled off of Luca, but they don't necessarily see her getting pulled by the resistance. Although.
Right, so they don't know that there's something weird going on. There's
one shot where you see Hyena holding, like, picking her up and walking away, I think. And I do think that it shows that on the TV. So I think they do know. I think they see Hyena in that moment because I think Luca is renewed. And this is when we realize that Luca has been in love with Hyena. And that is the only, the reason he seems so fucking heartless is because not a single person in this world matters to Luca except for Hyena.
I think it's one of those things too where it's like, he is so good at exploiting other people's feelings, not because he's heartless, but because he knows what it means to like love and not have.
And so we get a flashback to their childhood, and we learn that he killed the person he loves most.
Allegedly.
Killed her brother, and she forgives him and continues to be his friend, and
which is crazy.
And that's when you see that while Mizzy and Sua and Till and Ivan all have their own mental hiccups and disorders from being in this world, in this society, in the position they're in, Luca is insane. And Luca like killed this girl's brother thinking it would bring her closer to him. He has manipulated all of these people in Alien Stage, traumatizing them by using their like worst memories against them. And I think all in pursuit of getting out of Alien Stage so he can find Hyena because he's so obsessed with her. So Luca goes up against Till. That's where we're at, right?
Yeah.
I think that's where we're at.
Yeah.
So we've got Luca up against Till. Till has just watched Ivan die in front of him. Luca is starting to emulate Ivan in order to get under Till's skin, and Till starts to lose his round against Luca. And this is the finale. So this is like going to be our champion. And we see that the rebellion is backstage and starting to make moves on shutting this down. And Mizzy sees Till's starting to lose and runs out to the stage because she kind of doesn't give a fuck about the rebellion anymore. She just wants to go see if she can help her friend win. If there's any way,
Yeah.
like her being in the audience will encourage him enough to keep playing and play harder so he can live. And she gets out in front of him and it's too late and they've basically already decided on a winner, and she gets right in front of Till, and his last thing he sees before they declare a winner and he's shot is Mizzy's face. And it is so romantic and beautiful that at least that one character had somebody he had, at least he had that moment. So she sees him go down.
Right.
Hyuna goes on stage to get Luca, and Hyuna's already been shot. And this is where you see that Hyuna, her loyalties, her feelings for Luca are also very, very complex. So Luca's being held at gunpoint. The rebellion is going on. And when Luca sees Hyuna, he steps towards her, regardless of the fact that someone's pointing a gun at his head. And that's when you know that he just he truly, he's gone. Like his logical, rational brain is gone, and he's just kind of an animal. And when he sees Hyuna, this person who's wanted posters he has hung up all over his room, who he's completely obsessed with, he sees her and he walks towards her, and the guy goes to pull the trigger, and Hyuna jumps in front of the bullet for him. So even in this moment where he wants to get to her, he sacrifices her, and he just he has no rationale. It's just like when he killed her brother. What were you thinking was going to happen? He wasn't thinking, because when you have this kind of society, the product is insane people. He's crazy.
Yeah.
So he gets shot, or Hyuna gets shot. He is standing there. Mizzy is holding Till as he dies. She sees Luca and goes over to beat the shit out of Luca one last final time. And is this when he dies? Because his angel, all of the children, all of these characters, as they die, you see their angel, their child self come as an angel, sit by them. Oh no, Luca doesn't die. She punches him in the face because he comes back. So she punches him in the face. She says, "Don't act like you're righteous. You're not worth saving, and neither am I." And then she goes over to Till. And what she has done in the meantime of all of this chaos was grab a computer of the rebellion and redirect a missile that was meant to hit, I think, another location. And she redirects the missile to hit the stage.
It might have been the broadcast tower or
something like that. Something to disrupt the system, but not kill everybody in a terrorist attack. But Mizzy decides in this moment of nihilism that none of this is worth saving. Even herself, even Luca, the survivors aren't worth saving. So she sends the rocket to them. It hits its location. Everyone is saying their final goodbyes. Hyuna, as she dies, tells Luca to keep living and live with love. As Mizzy is seeing the world crumble around her, she holds Till, and then she gets this look on her eye like something strange is happening. And she goes down to listen to his heartbeat again. And then she sees the rebellion, who she is just backstabbed. She literally ruined the entire rebellion's plan. And instead of kind of dying there with the cause, she grabs Till, drags him over to the rebellion, and asks to be saved. And
well, that's because, right, she thought he was already dead, and then she heard his heart was still beating, and she's like, "Ah, shit, no, I do got a reason to live now."
And that's so.
She was like, all the people I care about are dead. I might as well die. But then she's like, "Oh shit, he's alive."
They're not all dead.
Now I gotta be alive too.
And this is that thing where all of these moral questions are posed between the characters: who's right, who's wrong, what's left, what is there left for humans to live for, if there is anything. And Mizzy poses this nihilistic thought that no humans can love without exploiting each other. And in this moment, Till, who she doesn't romantically return his affection, but she cares for him enough as a human to pick his ass up and drag him out of there. And that wasn't to exploit him. That was to save him. Just completely altruistic, which goes against her nihilism, which kind of makes this whole thing she's just done a mistake. And if it wasn't, she still has to live with it. So she becomes an outcast. The entire world is thrown into chaos. Till is alive, we think. We have Luca left alive, and then we have these crazy couple music video songs that aren't exactly narratives. They're artwork and they're very interpretive. So we see flashes of different characters and different pairings with this glass blood diamond. And we see it
Oh,
getting crushed
yes.
between them in a variety of different ways. And you just have to watch it to know what I'm talking about. But as this is all happening, I think we go through our time jump. And then this last episode, we get to see the world after the nuclear bomb that they set off. And we see these
Mm-hmm.
billboards, and we get a monologue about the witch, about the woman who had, a plan, and she became an outcast and a witch. And you see this short pink hair character, Mizzy, and we understand that she's living on the outsides of society. And then there's another billboard that says, Luca is back, which makes us think that Alien Stage was not over. It, in fact, has continued on, and Luca is the reigning champion. And then there's a bunch of ads for this Alien Stage Museum, which memorializes the 7 years, I think it's 7 years since the explosion. And they have a museum full of clones called the Replica Room, where they have clones of all of the performers with their DNA mixed into each other. So they're living in their own museum inside a display case as real people with the same feelings and thoughts and emotions as the original characters had. And the children continue to be harvested for Alien Stage. But there's one silver lining, and that is a boy on a motorcycle with silver hair. And we see Till, who was self-harming this entire time, was ready to die, and when he was saved and brought to the outside world, he's given the opportunity to be a hero and to make his life worth something. And you see him crashing into this museum and riding his motorcycle into the face of an alien who's hurting children. And then he drives past the replica room. Actually, before that, he finds some children and he gives them directions, and he can't verbalize, but he gives them directions to an underground room. And we had seen a flashback in their childhood of Ivan and Till making it out into a spot in nature that looked like they had escaped. And they end up going back for their friends, but it seems that Till is showing these kids how they can get out. And then he passes the replica room, and the very last scene is him screeching his motorbike to a stop, taking off his helmet, and seeing this character in the replica room. And I thought this was really sweet. Was the character is Till, but he has pink hair like Mizzy.
It's Ivan and Mitzi's DNA
It's Ivan and
mixed.
Dean, and not Till's, because it looks like Till's face. Is it Ivan's face?
I think it's Ivan's.
That interpretive 2 episodes where, or maybe it's just the 1 episode where we get all of those flashing scenes and the blood diamond. There's also this sequence where we see Sua and Mizzy in a bathtub, and they're purposefully sharing blood. So I am still confused on if the clones were something that the characters themselves had any part in.
Oh, that they were
And that's
manipulating?
what I was wondering. And there's also this moment where we see Sue and Mizzy have a
Interesting.
camera inside this flower that they're sharing with each other. And so, in a way, I felt like maybe these characters have, left their little signature, like wherever they could, they tried to have control over their lives. And that sequence where they're all sharing blood or injecting themselves. So basically what you see is Sua and Mizzy like doing blood infusions into each other. So I think when they went to duplicate
Mm-hmm.
them, when Alien Stage went to recreate them without their permission, they had already destroyed the sample by mixing their DNA. So they couldn't exploit them again by having this perfect clone because they'd ruined their sample by mixing and diluting the DNA already, which I think is really cool. It's like it was their final way of, it's like when people want to make AI characters of dead actors. It's like, you don't own me after I'm dead. So in this way, when they do these blood transfusions with each other, they've made it impossible to ever recreate Mizzy and Sua on stage again. It would have to look different. He like sees this replica room full of them. He takes his helmet off and he winks, and you get this feeling that Till is about to save everybody. And that's where we end off. And it's very open-ended. Of course, this is like a wide-ranging problem, as is child slavery in our modern day. It is not an issue that ends after you watch Banana Fish or after you watch Alien Stage. Children are sold and trafficked and treated as slaves every day in this world. And the idea that we each can succumb to the nihilism and give up and think we're too small to have an impact on the world, that is one option. And sometimes we succumb to that, just like Till did. And sometimes you succumb to that, and then you get a second wind, you renew your hope, and you decide to live to help others. If you can't help yourself and you can't help the people you wanted to help, you'll find somebody to help. You'll find somebody to contribute to give back to. And I thought that was really, really beautiful. And I also think the songs are bops, and that should just like get its flowers. Someone on a bigger level, someone needs to recognize how cool this project is.
Mm-hmm. It's really like phenomenal. Like I'm trying to think of something comparable to like just the way that this was executed, and I can't think of anything.
Not a creative project with this kind of multimedia between the music, the animation, the art. Like it's all so incredible. Like you said, the way they rolled it out, the way that it was pieced together non-chronologically in these sequences, it's incredible.
Mm-hmm.
So who was your delusional boyfriend for this series?
I don't know, because like I feel like I watched it and I had decided, and then I watched the other synopsis and then I decided, and then the more we talked, I'm like, wait.
I felt like I knew who you were gonna say.
See, okay, I'll start with this. I think when we first said that we were talking about this, I was like, I bet that Courtney is going to like Luca the most.
I was really worried that I was going to be a Luca simp because I was like, this is bad news. This is like not a good look for me. And I thought classic, I thought that you would be a Missy girl. I was like, she's a hot lesbian.
Oh, see, I was
Were you leaning
Sua,
Sue? I was
honestly.
like, but Sua's sweethearted.
Yeah, because Mitzi, yes,
but she gives up so early. I was like, yep, but Val is like, I feel like,
but she does it. It's the
she's the hopeless romantic,
where she like
pure of heart.
I'm always like, when it comes to like a Yuri pairing, I'm always the dark hair, like, because they're always putting in the most, and the pink hair one just exists.
Yep. No, and I'll always take like the crazy mean character over like the sad sweet character.
That's what I mean. That's what I was like.
No, I could not pick Luca. I was like, Luca at first, when he first came on stage, I was like, whoops. I did that for all of them though. I was just like, damn, the bunch of lookers. I see why y'all were picked as the finalists. But I was immediately drawn to Luca until he does this. He goes to choke Till after Ivan had just choked Till, and I was like, I will find you, and I will find your family, and I'll find your pets, and you're all going to burn. Like, it made me so extremely mad. And I really thought I would be like an Ivan or a Till girl, because those were all the edits I was seeing. And I was like, surely I'll be a Till girl, because I love I love a dramatic, like strung out looking musician. And then as soon as Ivan started singing, I was like, ooh, Ivan is that boy. But in the end, Hyuna is
Ivan was going to be my second pick.
It has to be Hyuna. And that's the thing also, is she is altruistic. She's a lover. She's a good sister. She's a good friend. At the end, she literally sacrifices herself for the person who murdered her brother. She's like,
yeah, at the cost of the rebellion.
She just does what her own code. This is the thing, is her and Mizzy have such specific codes that are so contradictory to each other that their partnership was the end of the rebellion. It is the thing that could not work. It was the Mentos and Coke. But I respect Hyuna's.
Do you think that happened because Mitzi got to her? Because I feel like she was very like, we have to be careful. This is for the rebellion. We cannot sacrifice the rebellion. And then Mitzi was like, we don't deserve to live. Like, all these people give for us. We like are just people. Like, what about our love? And then in the moment, after being with Mitzi for so long, she's like, no, she's right. It's not just about the rebellion. It's about these people in this moment. And then that's why because I think that's what I think that she like rubbed off on her in their time together, because I didn't catch take her as that
I
type of
think what
character.
happens also in that moment is that you can say, this is my manifesto, this is my diatribe, this is what I will live and die by, this is my code, this is what I mean, this is everything I believe in. And in the moment when someone you care about needs you, will you change your whole code? Will you break your whole code? And she has that whole code. And when she sees Luca, and Luca, she knows like he's just 2 brain cells shy of being able to keep himself like on the right side of this, she goes to save him just despite what she believes in, because she wants to protect him. And it's the same thing with Mizzy. She like goes to Till because she wants to protect him. And even when she thinks they should all die, her instinct to protect another human, her instinct to protect someone she loves, is more important than these overarching moral beliefs she thought she had. And I think in the moment, a lot of us, you would say, you know, I would never do X, Y, or Z. And you truly don't know what you would do until you're in that situation. What would you do? Who are you when push comes to shove? And we see that with Hyuna. And when push came to shove, the rebellion was not more important than a person who she'd protected her whole life.
I feel like if she genuinely like cared about him enough to sacrifice herself and the rebellion, why wouldn't she have, instead of going in to save Mitzi during their performance, why didn't she save Luca? That's what I mean. Like, that's why, like, it wasn't clocking that, like, that was going to be her decision unless Mitzi did something that, like, made her, like, core change.
I guess my belief was just that Hyuna saw Luca, and she says she resented him because of kind of everything that he was, and she had to keep moving on towards this resistance. But I think she wasn't worried about him initially because she thought he would win. I think she was like, he will win, he's ruthless, he's bloodthirsty, and he will win, and he doesn't need me. And when she came back and he saw her, like, of course he needed her. Not one person in the show stands alone. Every single one of them is drawing their strength from a different person.
So what like round of like alien stage is this? Like, how many years has this been going on, or how many like alien stage competitions have there been? Do we know?
And I kind of felt like this was the like premiere, but it doesn't make sense for this to be the premiere because everybody acts like they know what's going on. But when Ms.
Right, and like I'm reading through the fandom page to try to figure this out, because again, like the more I watch this, the more like questions I have about
so Mizzy
stuff.
and Sua, we see their very early childhood almost looks like they're still on Earth. So I think they get taken off of Earth into outer space, and they start alien stage with this first round of humans. But what is it saying?
Okay. In Vivino's Patreon, there is an interview with Luca that got posted where it talks about how he, after winning 49, he went on to do like interviews and
so was 49 the first one he won? Okay,
I think so, but I don't know if the one that we were watching was 49.
But very much like the Hunger Games, he goes on to be a recurring contestant. And Alien Stage clearly was not shut down because he can, after winning this one, go on to keep doing it. So nothing about the rebellion changed anything. Except for these incremental changes that Till and you see these other rebellion workers, they're making them. But overall, it all looks like it stayed the same.
Okay, so I was right. You gaslit me. So he won 49, and we are watching the 50th season.
Oh my God. Okay.
I didn't even clock that there was this whole interview. Like, this is crazy. The English interview with Luca. What have you been up to since season 49? You know, returning to Alien Stage is big news. Are you aiming to win? Like, it's, and he's like, we'd love to hear about your time in the garden. Are there any special memories that come to mind? And he's like, I enjoyed my mandatory playtime with the other pet humans since it was important for us to interact with each other. Hide and seek, I think it was called.
Oh, he's so disturbing. No, he would have been my delusional boyfriend, but
I'll link this to you.
He's actually like, not even like human.
And then there was also some lore around like his fingertips being darker. And it's, I think, I don't know if this is fan theory or how much was confirmed, but it's basically talking about like lack of oxygen, blood flow, congenitive heart failure from his repeated cloning.
Oh, and I think that must also have something to do with his defective humanity. I think cloning the same person over and over again, you're going to get defects, and that is one of them. Is his true defective thinking about other humans. He is more alien. Like, hey,
Mm-hmm.
he is of a species now that is not the same as the other humans. Like Mizzy and Sua seem like true organic creatures. Ugh. Gosh, this whole
Yeah.
thing is so disturbing. Ugh.
Well, this even talks about like how he said, it must put an enormous amount of pressure on you to be known as the greatest performer on Alien Stage. Do you have any special tricks to help you keep calm? I make sure to maintain my heart rate. Pet humans must maintain a heart rate of 70 to 90 beats per minute to remain composed. I'm keeping track as we speak. Would you like to see?
He is so creepy.
He's just
like AI.
he has been to your point, he's been bred
He's
for
literally
this.
AI. He's like the human AI. He is just a compilation of other past versions of himself doing formulaic and algorithmic equations.
Think about how many clones we saw. I imagine, because this is the 50th. Imagine like he's gone on many episodes before, he just hadn't won before, and each time they clone him, they like change up what piece of DNA they keep or pull out, and they're slowly pulling out his humanity. This is my own fan theory now, right? Where they're pulling out his humanity and they're making a perfect Alien Stage contestant by changing and like rebreeding and recloning all of his DNA.
That is so gruesome. That's so gruesome. Oh.
Yeah.
And this story has no resolution. Literally, it's kind of okay. This is going to get a little bit political, but it's kind of like how we went from a Trump presidency to something else and then back to a Trump presidency. It's like, we really had this like glimpse of hope, a glimpse of a rebellion, a glimpse of change. And then we ended up right back where we started. And you have to, unless you want to be Mizzy, just like burning it all down and saying none of it matters, you have to believe that incremental change is still happening and this needle of progress is getting pushed forward and that good will triumph over evil. That has to be the moral. But damn, this series does a good job of taking that futility and making you feel it like right on the front burner.
This series is so good. As we wrap up, it's like, go out there, consume all of the media. Like, obviously consume the canonical, like, original music videos and music that don't have music videos, because they are part of the story too. As you get into it, obviously there's Patreon content that you can find and consume. There's tweets from the creators that you can find. But then there's also fan art and other fan-made content. Like, there's even, I'm like checking on my side to like see like what else there is. Like, there is a whole Alien Stage Round 51. It's a fan-made, non-canonical like web series. And it's, I mean, like, people like, this is just such a huge fandom, and there's so much like content.
And I just sent you a cafe that is doing aliens. It's like an Alien Stage cafe, and really, it is like such a big well to dive into. And then the fan art, I would say, when I found like the world of fan art, which I know I'm like way behind, but that is kind of when I started getting into these fandoms. And I would say that going out on Instagram and on TikTok and on Pinterest and on Patreon and finding and following these artists and supporting them and commenting and encouraging them to keep making it, if we don't have that kind of support and enthusiasm in our artistic communities, projects like Alien Stage would never happen. Because artists, they spend all of this time, their life, their one chance at life, creating things for us, and if we don't appreciate it and we don't value it and we don't lift it up, they won't do it. They're not getting like, most of their careers, they don't get paid. So you have to go out and support. So please find all of these fan artists and get in there and support them. A lot of these fan artists are going to go on to make their own OCs and their own stories, and they could be the next author to make a story that affects you even more than Alien Stage did. So go out there, support the small guys, support the big guys, and fucking shit all over AI generated art.
I have two yes ands to this. My current favorite Yuri that I started reading only exists because, and this is all exaggerated, but it literally only exists. The first volume came out in Japan. It was sinking. The mangaka released a mini episode. In the mini episode, they're like, hey, we're flopping. Like, do what you can. And there was someone who was, I know we're like anti-scanlations being posted online, but someone posted the scanlation of that online and was like, hey, there's this really cool Yuri that's going to fail if we don't support it. So then the English community on Twitter jumps in and saves this, and now we're like getting English published versions of this manga, and the mangaka is going to continue to release volumes because we jumped in and we saved it. We, the Yuri community. And the second one of like, small creators make a big impact. There's this other like web series that a pilot episode was released, and it is so well done. I'm obsessed with it. If you're a fan of it's like Owl something that was on Disney. Do you know what I'm talking about? Owl. I'm sorry. It's Owl House. Owl House was an animated series on Disney. The creator, Dana Terrace, like it got canceled. It might have been because Disney was Disneying, and she was trying to, or they were trying to aggressively in air quotes, right, to make it an inclusive show. And Disney was like, you're skirting the line. We see what you're doing. Canceled it. But like they're just such an insane artist, and they have like their own kind of like studio now, and they have like their own YouTube thing. But one show that they piloted, I'm obsessed with it. It's called The Knights of Guinevere. And I implore you, I beg of you, go watch the pilot. I need the pilot to get more views because I need this to get full YouTube production. It basically, I think it's gonna be like the next Has Been Hotel, I think, because it's so good. It's got a lot of like digs at Disney in it because obviously the creator's like baby got canceled through Disney. But it's gonna be another one of those like there's these robot clones, but then they feel, but then like these human, and there's like this sickness taking over this planet where the planet is only this like super sick amusement park, and it's making everyone's, it's so good. We'll do a mini episode on it. I watch the pilot, and then we'll circle back because I need more people to read it or watch it, so I'm willing to jump on a pod episode for it to promote it. I absolutely
think that this kind of YouTube series is the way of the future. I think that creators are going to find the monetization in YouTube to be a lot more fulfilling than some of these other companies like Disney, even, where it's like, yeah, you can make a dime, but
the soul-sucking Amazon Primes of the world, and like
sell
all
us
these
your
other
IP,
things.
we'll suck the soul out of it and hand you pennies back. So I think that when people can get the support on YouTube, like imagine if people hadn't supported Alien Stage, what would we have lost out on? What would the production quality be? But because people are watching, because it is a site that is able to monetize creators really easily, we have this gorgeous piece of art. And I do think that that is the future. So please go out there, support those people. Another example is Critical Role. I'm a big Critical Role, Dungeons and Dragons. It's like a streaming show, and they turned their entire first season and now their other season into an animated series because the fans crowdfunded. So just remember, when you see projects like this, don't be stingy with your engagement. It's so helpful to the creators and to other fans who haven't found it yet if you just lift it up and shout its praises from the rooftops. And with that being said, we are wrapping up 2025 here on the Delusional Boyfriend Book Club. And I am so happy of all the work we've done. I am so excited to be going into 2026. Val is joining me and is going, I think, to also be hopping on some live action BL episodes, because that will be a new category going into 2026, as well as doing all of our BL animes for 2026, which we are just going to continue because I have not gotten through my backlog of BLs that are classics that everyone should watch. So thank you guys so much for joining us. And please don't be stingy. Go share this with your friends. I had a gal today post her Spotify Wrapped, and we were the #1 podcast for her. And it brought tears to my eyes. It made me so
I
happy.
was so happy for you when I saw that. I was like,
It made me
"Oh,
so
queen,
happy, and I know it's like awkward to do something like that, but if you have the chance to tell a creator who you really appreciated this year that the work they did meant something to you, say it, because it's hard work and we do it because we were looking for content that we couldn't find and we wanted to put that content out there so somebody else would be able to find it. So thank you guys for listening. Thank you for being here. For everybody who reached out and told me that you're listening to the podcast, I appreciate you so much. To the homie in Helena, Montana, who was kind enough to tell me that there's another Fujoshi in the state. Thank you for pointing yourself out. I'm so happy to know all you guys. Thank you so much. This has been so much fun. Val, thank you for doing these episodes with me. It is so much more fun to have you here,
thank you for having
fact
me.
checking me than just
This has been
talking out
so
my
fun
ass
for
about
me.
shit I don't know about. Thank you for also always pulling up the Google and making sure that what we're saying is correct. You're just so valuable.
I'm in the background. If I always look distracted while we're talking, it's because like I'm like I want to say something, but I want to make sure it's right first.
Or I just said
like,
something
Courtney
that's
says something and I wanna
definitely
check to make
sus.
sure that she's not crazy. Yeah.
So thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. If you can, rate, review, and subscribe, and turn on auto downloads so that you get all of our new episodes delivered automatically to your library. And I will be releasing some quick little mini episodes about our calendar going into next year, telling you all of the titles coming up. And then on the first of the month, every month, there will also be a mini episode that just goes through where you can read legally these stories or watch the series legally. And we also will be doing some other cool stuff as
And you got tons of
we
like
have
guests
tons
coming
of
on
guests.
next
My
year.
husband
Like,
Wolfgang
I'm so
is going to
excited
go
for you,
through One
dude.
Piece. So if you're a One Piece girly out there, or you're a book talk girl who's starting to see One Piece make its way into book talk, just be on the lookout for those episodes as well. And then I have worked with an artist to commission the calendar for this year, which I will have an email newsletter for by the time I publish this episode. So if you go subscribe to the email newsletter, I will email everybody the PDF for the calendar. And then I'll also make that available to purchase later so that everybody can get that like a printed laminated version for themselves, along with a t-shirt and a bookmark for sale. So those are just things I really wanted for myself this year, 2026. I was like, I want a t-shirt for the podcast. I want a bookmark. I want a real physical calendar. So I just decided to get them done professionally so I could send them out to anybody who wanted them as well. So please be on the lookout. And until next time, remember, sometimes the delusion
Is the solution.
Bye.
Bye.